Hello, YouTube, my YouTube family, and those of you who are new, joining in to see what it is that I do and who in the heck I possibly am, right? I am Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am a master healer, an ascension master, and a divine guide. I am the one that brought about the ascension for the planet. I welcome you to check out my channel to understand what that means. Feel free to watch the videos below this for the playlist of the Rising of Christ and all of that. And that will explain to you a little bit of who I am. I like to also do missing persons and unsolved cases because since my awakening, my Kundalini awakening, they have been coming through me in order to clear them out of the collective whole. Okay, so that is the purpose why I do these. By me doing these, it does start to clear that energy for the purposes of karmic cleanse and things of that nature. So I don't just do these for fun. There is a great purpose behind them. Keep in mind, I am, again, a master healer, a psychic. I do things a little bit differently. I'm not an astrologer. I don't go by astrology. I go by what Spirit tells me, specifically Mr. Saget himself. Okay, so I call on Spirit. I actually ask them what they want you guys to know, and that is the information I bring forth to you. I place no opinions in it. Sometimes they give me names that I, even myself, am like, you really want me to share this? So take it for what it's worth. I hope that you just be open to receiving the information that's given and all possibilities that arise. Okay? With that being said, I wanted to investigate Bob Saget, or his actual name is Robert Lane Saget. Mr. Saget is one of my favorite people on television. When I was a little girl, he started the show America's Funniest Videos. I love that show. That is the one show I used to watch with my dad. I think it was like every Friday it would come out, and I was so excited because the only time my dad would laugh is watching AFV with me from the time I was probably just very little, right? 6 or 8 years old, all the way up. We watched that show together and laughed and laughed and laughed, and I was very sad when he was no longer the host of that show. Okay, so this one actually meant something to me in particular because I grew up watching Mr. Bob Saget pretty much in everything he did. And then by the time I was in middle school, I think it was, is when Full House, late elementary to middle school, I can't remember exactly when Full House came out, but I do remember I watched that one as well when I was quite younger. And I grew up watching Mr. Danny Tanner, right? And his girls and the Full House, right? The Full House, the whole aspect of what that was. And so he's a very special person in my heart. He truly is. So by doing these videos, I mean no harm to those that aren't intended, right? And to his family, much respect and admiration to his parents for raising such an outstanding, unique, talented, and comical young man. He did die before his prime, I would call that, right? Even though he was in his 60s. So he was born May 17th, 1956, and he returned home January 9th, 2022, just this year, just a few months ago. So I called on the creator, I called on Mr. Saget, who is still with me. He's showing up in blue jeans, like stonewashed blue jeans with a ripped knee, and I can see the little strings hanging from it. Oh my gosh, and he's like so tall and lengthy and skinny, kind of like a stepdad I had. He looks like one of my stepdads from when I was a little kid. He's just very individual, let's just say. That was his, I'm individual. That was his words, and he loved the 80s. That was kind of his favorite fashion. So that's what he shows up as. He shows up in his jeans and almost what looks like a polo type shirt, right? He was just such a goofy guy, okay? So the story of his passing is that they found him in his hotel room with a head injury. And that was discovered, I believe, after an autopsy. I don't watch all of these things. I just grab little tidbits of what I had heard. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. So from the moment I heard his story, I knew something was wrong. And it sparked this interest in me to do this video, okay? Because something's just not settling with me, and now I know why. So again, I will mention some names in this video I didn't expect to mention. And I can't say I mean no harm, but I mean no harm. But if any harm comes to you, that's not my doing, that's yours, right? So I just give you what I'm given. I believe in who I am. I believe in what I'm given. And so I hold strong to that. Okay. If you're unaware of who I am, please keep all judgments to yourself until you do complete research and homework into the work that I do and the kind of psychic medium type style or person that I am. Okay. I am literally genuinely a master healer and an ascension master, little different, okay, than anybody else you see on YouTube that does these videos. Okay. My purpose isn't necessarily for entertainment. It's karma clearing through and through. Okay. So when something's not right, I get nudged to clear it. And Jesus actually came through me as well. I know how he died. That's kind of what sparked these. All right. Spirit was like, you need to do these, you need to do these. And so I started doing them, and then the Jesus thing came through. So I completely believe in who I am and what I get. And I just ask you to be open and do your research through and through. Okay. Give these space and time and kind of watch what unfolds. Pretty cool. All right. So Mr. Saget, very special person. Okay. It's confirmed for me also what he gave me, because after he gave me everything, I tuned back in and I was like, because some of the details are left out and he's not giving them. Okay. So there's a reason behind that, and you'll understand what I mean. But I was like, what else is it that you wish for people to know? What am I missing here? And he specifically said something to me that I actually had to look up, because it's not what he's known for. And this validated all the information he gave me prior, because when I looked it up, it was confirmed that that is something that he would do. Okay. So he loved to dance and sing. I get a visual of him dancing and singing, and he would even write like goofy songs. It was more like play, like they were goofy. And so he's a comedian in them too, and I'm getting a lot of chills. And he loved doing this. For some reason, this aspect never took off, but he loved actually singing comedy. It was like being goofy and singing songs, and I can see him like do 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 do, you know, and he would just sing the funniest songs. And this is something he would love to do. He would do it on Full House. He would do it, you know, at different times in different settings, okay, with friends and in groups and in parties. And this is just something he really enjoyed, okay, which kind of speaks to the names I'm going to drop a little bit. Okay, you'll kind of understand that too. All right. So what happened to him is he did not just fall. It didn't surprise me. I knew something was not right. So I've tuned in a couple times to what happened to him, and each time I start immediately choking, and then I get hit on the back of my head. Really kind of like right here, like right here, like right here, like really hard. And I repeat that because each time it's like I feel it and I can hear my head crack. Okay. So he was literally hit on the back of his head. He did not fall, but before he was hit, there was an attempt to chloroform him. That was the first thing I saw. Somebody grabs me and puts a cloth to my face, and I start choking, and he started fighting. He put up a fight. He started struggling, and that's when he got boom, hit over the head, and it cracked my skull. Like, I don't feel good. Like, I feel like there's a hairline crack in my, I could hear it. Okay. So it wasn't an accident. I'm a little fuzzy on the fact of if they meant to murder him. I feel like because of his struggle, he got hit. I feel like the intention was to make him pass out, because there was intent behind it. And the intent was not necessarily to murder him. So it may have gone that far because he was a feisty dude. Like, you don't mess with Bob. You know what I'm saying? You don't mess with Robert Saget. I feel like there was a time in his life where he was kind of bullied and he was picked on, but it made him very strong. He was not a weak individual. He had no problem standing up for himself. And I believe that is what got him killed. Okay. I don't want to say accidentally killed. It's like you go to rob a bank and oops, I accidentally shot them. Yes, but you were intent of ill harm to begin with, right? Like, you went in there to do something that was already not good, and then it just escalated. And so that's kind of what happened to him. It's like they meant to chloroform him. because that's what I have, poisoned and like chloroform. Okay, it was like, and he started fighting, and it was in a hotel room, and so they were trying to keep him very quiet because if they found out who did this, it would ruin careers. Okay, because somebody very famous is the names he dropped. Right, these are big time names. I block any negativity coming my way from it. I am giving you what he is giving me, and he's right here with me. He's in his stonewashed jeans and his knee is ripped and he got the strings hanging off, right? And it's not like the style when we ripped them on purpose. Like, this was just his jeans, his favorite pair of jeans. He wore them until he couldn't wear them no more. That's the kind of guy he was. And he loved to sing with his comedy and dance and play his guitar, which was actually confirmed. That was the piece of information that he gave me. I'm like, was he in a band? And I looked it up, and most people do not know or aren't aware of the fact that he really did love to sing and play guitar. And he shows me it's goofy singing. Like, he loved to still make people laugh. That was always what he wanted to do. If he can make you laugh, he knew he got into your heart. He's saying that's how I got my beautiful wife, don't you know? I made her laugh all the time. And that's what he is saying. And he is calling her his love of his life. He says she was so beautiful. He would always look in the mirror and be like, why does she love me? But he got to her heart through his humor. Okay, that's what he is saying. So if she ever watches this, that was for her. He loved her more than anything in the world. And I'm sorry, I'm emotional because I'm feeling his emotions. He felt like the luckiest man alive because he had her, and he didn't know why she loved him, but again, he made her laugh, and so he knew that was his way that he got into her heart. So making people laugh was everything to him, and this is what he wanted to continue to do. So he's actually showing me he was at that hotel for like a business proposition type of thing. It was supposed to be somewhat of a business venture. So he was at a hotel. I actually channel these when I do them, and I write them down. That way, you know, I do it a couple times. I can compare them, and when they usually always meet up. So I give you, that's when I feel confident in doing them, and then I give them, I've never had them be different. But so I kind of do it that way, and then I have them in my ear too. So this is kind of how I present it to you guys, okay? But he was at this hotel to meet a businessman about a money-making opportunity. Okay, and that's what he showed me. That's what he told me. But he was lied to. Okay, it was not accurate. And then it says, so somebody wanted something he had. Okay, and I'm going to get into this a little bit. This ties into Dave Collier, I believe is his name. He is the guy, that's what I see. I get a visual of him. He is not a bad guy. He is a good guy. He had some mishaps in his career, and I think this was the time of Full House. So Dave Collier had some issues, some dealings. He owed people money. He had drug issues and things like that. And this awesome guy right here actually helped him out of that trouble. And that's what he's showing me. And this dates all the way back to that time frame. Okay, this has something to do with that as well, with the ties. Okay, because he helped him get off of drugs, and there was something about a chip that they were looking for. Like, he has info on people, and he had it either on his computer. I keep seeing a chip. It's like a little USB port, right? Like one of those things you can transfer information onto, and that's what I keep seeing. But I feel like they actually took stuff out of the hotel. They took the cloth where they chloroformed him from. The thing they hit him on the head with was not there. That was actually more like a billy club or a pipe is what it looks like that hit him, and my head hurts as I'm like my head flipping hurts really bad. Like, it hurts. I don't think he died right away. I believe he was somewhat in and out of consciousness, and there was bleeding on his brain and swelling, and then eventually he died. So about an hour into that is when he finally succumbed completely. But I do think it took a little bit of time. Okay, it was like in and out. Like, I'm here and I'm not. I'm here and I'm fighting. I'm here and I'm not. And he just couldn't go through. So they chloroformed him. They tried to. and he struggled. He was one tough cookie. And the people that he went up against, you'll see that as well. Wow, he really did fight his way through. And that's why they hit him in the head. Okay. So he went to this hotel with the hopes of a money-making scheme, like a new idea, either for a show or a movie. It wasn't quite clear. I'm not even quite sure. He was filled in on all the details, but it sounded good enough for him to go through with the venture. But that never went through. There was never complete anything like that. It was lied. I have lied in parentheses. Had info, and then I have chip also in parentheses. Computer chip had info on it that could expose some truths. These are truths he would not tell me about. I kind of hear a little bit of pedophile type stuff. I hear like a ringleader type things. It kind of shows who a ringleader is of these dealings that are not good. That's all I can give you. That's what he's telling me right now. I didn't have that written down. He's actually filling that in right now. I'm like, what? There's something missing here. But he said that's intentional, okay? Because I don't need to be in danger. And that is what he is saying to me. Because I'm already gonna drop some things, okay? But it was taken. So I think he either had the chip taken or the whole computer was taken. I'm not clear on that either, but I see there was stuff removed and it had to do with the chip, okay? The thing is he wasn't there to expose anybody. I think this was done more out of fear and a preemptive strike. Not because this dude was going around saying, I'm gonna hurt you and I'm gonna expose you. He knew better. He knew that that would be his life. Like he knew that would be his career. I think this was more like a preemptive strike. Like the energies are there. There was something said at one point where you're not gonna mess with me. Like, you know, I've got something on you. Like I'm safe, I'm good. And that was enough to send this ball rolling. Okay, but it does date all the way back to Dave Collier. He showed me this by showing me him way back then. So his hair was all curly. He looked like he was in his 20s, maybe 30s. And he was definitely having some struggles. He owed some money to the wrong kind of people. He was into drug dealings with the wrong kind of people. These are people that go around kind of doing these things on purpose, okay? Will this ever be, would it have ever been exposed? Not necessarily, because there's major players involved here, okay? So I'm a little anxious actually delivering this message, and this is also explaining to me why he didn't give me too many details. Now I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like this is, there's a reason I felt nudged to do this. There's a reason he's wanting to tell me these things, and he wants you all to know. So I put a bubble of protection around me through and through. And his family too, he's asking. So I put a bubble of protection around his family as well. And no harm shall come to any of us for delivering what needs to be delivered. We are protected, we are safe, and he will do so on the other side, okay? The names he gave me, I actually had to look them up again. I knew I had heard one of them. The other one, it's like a long time ago I heard it. I'm like, who the hell are them? Who are they? Who are you? Let's adjust camera. Thank you. Okay. Again, I'm really anxious to give you these names, and I just want to make sure I'm protected. I feel it in my solar plexus, and I'm burping because I do that when I tune into energies a lot in a very powerful way. I'll gag, I'll burp. I can feel how they were killed, so my head really hurts, and it hurts all the way into my back. Like it's shooting pain all the way down into my back, and I want to throw up, so I'm not sure if he threw up. He may have thrown up. He says, get it done, then get it done now. Okay, so the names that I was given is Joe Rogan and Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode and Joe Rogan. Depeche Mode apparently is a band, right? And I thought I'd heard of that name before. I'm like, who the hell? Depeche Mode, they were a band out of England, I think it was. I kind of looked it up for a second just to make sure they were real. And Joe Rogan is the one who is very much so responsible, but I feel like the whole group together is the ones responsible. I feel like Joe Rogan, again, isn't necessarily the one that hit him over the head, but I do feel like he was in the room. Or at least, I don't know, I feel like he was in the room. Joe Rogan. Y'all know who that is, right? Lord help me for delivering this message. And Depeche Mode. Okay, Depeche Mode, I feel like we're the ones who are trying to get him to come and talk about this pitch, right? So maybe there was some kind of thing going on. I don't know if they were going to do, I don't know exactly what it was, a show, a movie, a series. They had spoken about something. There was some kind of plan, like maybe we could do a band, maybe we could do a song, maybe we could do a commercial. I don't know exactly what it was, but that was the lie that brought him there. And I feel like somehow Depeche Mode and Joe Rogan and Dave Collier, oh, what a tangled web we weave. That's not the first time I've heard this. I heard this with Brittany Murphy as well. So he had basically, I don't know if he had to hire somebody to do this, because there's a lot of people who either respect him or fear him. Joe Rogan, my dudes, and Depeche Mode are responsible. Joe Rogan is the first name he gave me that was responsible, and then it was Depeche Mode, okay? And it was a billy club type thing that hit him in the back of the head, and he was also chloroformed. So I think they meant to just knock him out so that they can get this information away from him, so that he had no proof if he ever did try to run his mouth. But Bob is actually telling me he would have never ran his mouth unless he absolutely had to. Unfortunately. Mr. Robert Lane Saget was a very good guy. And this is when I went back and I'm like, there's information here missing. Why are you not filling in the gaps? And I said, is there anything you want me to tell everybody? And he actually said, I love to sing and play. I love to sing and play guitar. I love to sing. And I'm like, is he in a band? Like, was he in a band? And so I looked that up, and he was never actually in a band. It's something most people don't even know. But it was confirmed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and that validated everything else he gave me. I cannot deny any of it, because after he gave it to me, I would look up the pieces and I was like, whoa, and I get such chills when I say that. Mr. Robert Lane Saget was a very funny, fun-loving, homebody kind of guy, and he loved his kids, and he loved his wife, and he felt like the luckiest man on earth. He says it was by accident he became the host of America's Funniest Videos. It was like some goofy thing that he didn't expect. And he felt like the luckiest man alive. And he got a lot of flack for it. And I feel like he was transitioned out of that a little early. And he was an amazing man. He's well missed. I will forever miss him. And I even had my kids watching AFB with me for like 3 weeks straight, every day from the 80s and 90s when he took on that show. So I don't mean to cry. I try to keep my emotions out of this, but I feel his emotions. These are very raw. He hasn't been gone very long. He is done with his life review. He was just, it's not like we all don't make mistakes. We all have our lessons to learn, but he's a very good guy. And he did things like helping. He was the family man. He just always wanted to help. Dave Collier was one of them. I feel like he helped the Olsen twins at some point do something. This is what he's giving me. And the thing is, he would have never done anything to hurt anybody, even if he had dirty info on people. Now, this has to do, I hear sex ring. Okay, so this might be kind of like the John Benet Ramsey type situation where there was like he says, stop. I'm not allowed to talk any further about that. He doesn't want me in danger. And that's literally what he's telling me right now, which makes me a little uneasy giving this. But I'm going to say it one more time and then I'm out. It's Joe Rogan and Depeche Mode. Those are the players, the key players that are responsible for his death. May Bob rest in peace. May all of our hearts be blessed forever with the memories of his laughter and the joy that he brought to this world, because it would have never been the same without him. It would not be the earth I know without him in my life. And I thank him very much for being a part of me right now, for allowing me to give these truths that he will allow me to do, but he is stopping me from the rest. Like it's urgent that I shut up in now. And so I'm going to stop this video from here. You have everything I could give to you and what happened to him. The rest is for the universe to clear. And that is what he is saying. Justice will be served. So much love to all of you. Lord, have mercy on my soul. and on that of those that ventured down a road that probably wasn't the best. Till next time, this was Juniper Blue Mystique, tuning in for your Mystery Mondays. Thank you, Bob, Mr. Saget, for whom I greatly respect. And so much love from him to his family, his daughters, his world. Till next time.